Welcome to a small, quiet town by the sea. Here, the world feels different, and everything moves slowly under a blanket of heavy, white morning mist. In this tranquil place, the morning air is cold and fresh. The tide is out, leaving the sand smooth and untouched by the footsteps of people. Look closely at the leaves of the mango trees. Tiny dewdrops cling to the edges, waiting for the first touch of warmth to awaken the sleeping earth. The silence is broken only by the sweet, clear melodies of birds. Their songs signal the beginning of a new chapter in this quiet, coastal life today. Down a narrow alley, a faint yellow light glows from a tiny watchmaker's shop. It is the only sign of life in the sleepy, misty town center. This is the home of a man who lives by the rhythm of gears. He is a humble watchmaker, a guardian of time in a world forgotten. Inside this shop, a secret is waiting to be shared. It is a story about a simple rule that can change your life and your heart. Today, we will follow the journey of this watchmaker. We will learn how he transformed from an anonymous worker into a true master of daily happiness. As we listen to his story, let the words flow naturally. This is your time to learn English through a peaceful and inspiring tale of growth. Before the transformation, there was only stillness. The watchmaker's life was much like the broken clocks he kept on his shelves, waiting for a new spark. Every clock told a different story, but none of them moved. The room was a museum of frozen moments, and the watchmaker felt stuck within them. Meet Thomas. He was an anonymous watchmaker, a man whose name was known by few. His face carried the weight of many years of quiet struggle. His life was like a broken clock, out of rhythm and failing to move forward. Every task felt heavy, and his hands often trembled with exhaustion. He felt lost in the ticking of the world. While everyone else seemed to have a purpose, Thomas felt like a ghost in his own workshop. Every morning, the world felt too fast for him. He would wake up to the chaos of unfinished work and the silence of a lonely life. When he looked in the mirror, he saw a stranger. He saw a man who had forgotten how to dream, buried under the weight of broken things. In the afternoons, he would wander the beach, searching for items others had thrown away. He collected discarded objects, feeling a strange connection to their brokenness. He found a rusted compass that could no longer point north. To Thomas, this compass was a symbol of his own directionless and weary heart. He also found a broken music box. It was silent, its melody trapped inside a wooden chest that had been beaten by the salt and the waves. He returned home every evening with a heavy heart. The shadows of the town seemed to grow longer, matching the loneliness that lived inside his chest. The nights were the hardest. The silence of the clocks was deafening. He felt like he was waiting for something, but he didn't know what it was. He realized that his life was slipping away, 1 second at a time. He was a master of time's machines, yet a slave to time itself. Even the things he loved to do felt like a burden. His frustration grew with every failed repair, every broken spring, and every passing empty hour. The rain began to fall, washing the streets of the coastal town. Inside, Thomas felt the same cold dampness in his spirit, a sense of deep isolation. Time had stopped for him. He was a watchmaker who couldn't keep his own life running. He was drifting in a sea of broken gears and springs. That night, as he lay in bed, he made a decision. He knew that if he didn't change something soon, he would be lost forever in Soong. He decided to try something different. He would reclaim his mornings. He would find a way to fix himself before the rest of the world woke. The clock was set. The challenge was accepted. This was the beginning of the 30-minute rule. A small change that would lead to a great life. 4:30 in the morning. The world was still asleep. Thomas opened his eyes, feeling the weight of the early hour. But he did not hesitate. He moved quietly through his small home. The morning was his secret. He lit the stove, the warm orange glow cutting through the shadows of his kitchen. He boiled water for tea. He didn't rush. He watched the steam rise and swirl, finding a strange peace in the simple act of waiting for heat. He poured the tea slowly. This was the first part of his new rule. No phones, no work, no noise, just the sound of the morning. He sat by the window for 10 minutes. He didn't think about his problems. He only watched the blue mist dancing over the quiet, empty streets. The world outside was beginning to change. The darkness was fading into a soft purple light. Thomas felt a sense of calm he hadn't felt before. After his tea, he went to his workbench. But he didn't start his regular work. He chose one small, broken thing that he truly wanted to fix. He spent 20 minutes on this small task. His focus was total. He wasn't working for money. He was working for the joy of restoration and peace. As he cleaned the gears, he felt his own mind becoming clearer. The 30-minute rule was working. He was fixing himself, one gear at a time. Then he heard it, a soft, rhythmic sound. The pocket watch was alive again. It was a small victory, but it felt like a grand triumph. He smiled for the first time in months. The sun was finally beginning to rise, but Thomas had already found his own light in the dark. He recorded his progress. He realized that 30 minutes was all he needed to change the tone of his entire day. It was his new foundation. The golden haze of the morning was beautiful. Thomas felt energized. He had prepared his mind and his spirit before the world began its noisy rush. He opened his door to the sea breeze. The town was waking up, but Thomas was ahead. He was no longer a victim of time's passing hours. He began to organize his life. The 30-minute rule became a habit. Every morning, he built a sanctuary of peace within the walls of his shop. He polished the glass of his clocks with care. His reflection changed. The tired old man was disappearing, replaced by someone who found meaning in every second. He tackled the rusted compass next. He realized that even the most broken things can be fixed if you give them time and focused, gentle attention. The shop was no longer a dark museum of failure. It was a workshop of hope. Sunlight reached every corner, and Thomas worked with a song. Weeks passed. The 30-minute rule was now a part of him. It was the anchor that kept him steady in the stormy seas of modern life. His hands were no longer shaky. His skill returned with a new strength. He could handle the smallest gears with ease and perfect, focused precision. He was not just fixing machines. He was creating art. Every watch he touched seemed to regain its soul under his careful and loving hands. The shelf was full of ticking hearts. The harmony was incredible. Thomas had turned his failures into a symphony of movement and life-affirming rhythmic sound. His morning walks changed too. He no longer looked for broken things out of sadness. He looked at the sunrise with a heart full of gratitude. He walked with purpose. Every step on the sand was a testament to his new life. He was a man who had reclaimed his own time. He saw beauty everywhere. Even a piece of sea glass was a treasure. His perspective had shifted from what was broken to what was possible and beautiful. The shop was a sanctuary of peace. He added flowers to his desk, bringing life into the room where he spent his most precious 30 minutes. Finally, the music box was ready. The melody was clear and sweet. It was a song of survival, a song of hope, and a song of mornings. He listened to the music and felt a deep sense of accomplishment. He had restored something beautiful from the ruins of the forgotten and the broken. People started to notice the change in him. He was no longer the lonely, anonymous man. He was someone who radiated peace and a quiet strength. He began to share his knowledge. He taught the children of the town that time is not an enemy to be feared, but a friend to cherish. The wonder in the boy's eyes reminded Thomas of his own childhood. He was passing on the gift of focus and the art of slowing down. Even at night, the shop was no longer lonely. It was a place of stories and dreams. Thomas had become a master of his own happiness. This watch was his reminder. It was the first gear in the machine of his new life. It proved that 30 minutes could change everything forever. He looked at the stars and felt a connection to the universe. He was a small part of a grand design, and he was finally in rhythm. Preparation was key. He looked forward to his 30 minutes of peace. It was the most important appointment of his day, a date with himself. Morning peace. That was the name he gave to his routine. It was the foundation of his soul's restoration and his journey to true mastery. He slept soundly now. The anxiety of the past was gone. He knew that when he woke up, the 30 minutes of peace would be waiting. The horizon glowed with the promise of a new dawn. Every day was a new opportunity to practice the art of living and the 30-minute rule. Success is not just about money. It is about how you influence others. People from all over the town came to see Thomas's beautiful work today. His clocks were famous now. They didn't just tell time. They told stories of peace, nature, and the beauty of a well-lived, quiet life. He shared his secret. He told them about the tea, the silence, and the 30 minutes. He told them how it saved his life and heart. The people listened with open hearts. They too felt the rush of the world and the weight of their own broken gears and heavy, tired minds. The 30-minute rule began to spread. The town became a place of early risers who valued the silence of the dawn and the morning's peace. Synchronization, not just of the clocks, but of the community. Thomas had brought a new rhythm to the coastal town, a rhythm of calm and purpose. The mist was no longer a cold shroud. It was a shared blanket of peace. They were all masters of their mornings, guardians of their own happiness. He created his masterpiece, a clock that captured the very essence of the 30-minute rule. It was a tribute to the power of the first light. The pendulum of his life was finally steady. He had found balance between work and peace, between the world and his own internal soul's needs. He was a teacher of life. He taught the children that every second is a gift, and how you start your day determines how you live. The town was transformed. The anonymous watchmaker had become a master of happiness, and his legacy was written in the quiet mornings of everyone else. He stood before the sea, a man who had mastered time. He was no longer afraid of the future or the ghosts of his past anymore. He knew that happiness is not a destination. It is a journey that begins every single morning, in the first 30 minutes of the day's light. His work was done for the day. He had fixed what was broken, and he had nurtured what was whole. He was a master watchmaker indeed. The story of Thomas is a reminder for all of us. No matter how broken your life feels, you have the power to fix it daily. Listen to the ticking of your own life. Is it in rhythm, or does it need 30 minutes of peace to find its way again tonight? Tomorrow is another chance, another morning mist, another 30 minutes to fix your mind and your soul before the world wakes up and starts rushing. Thomas found his happiness in the first 30 minutes of the mist. He found his voice, his passion, and his place in this big world. The 30-minute rule is more than a habit. It is a philosophy of life. It is the art of being the master of your own joy. Hi, I am Wally. I use this rule too. This story is not just about a watchmaker. It is about my own personal journey as well. I spent 1 hour every day to practice my English and my discipline. I chose to wake up early and focus on my own personal growth. It wasn't always easy. There were mornings when I wanted to sleep, but I remembered the watchmaker and the power of the early morning peace. Learning a language is like fixing a clock. You have to understand each small part and put them together with patience and very consistent daily effort. This discipline changed my life. It gave me the confidence to speak, to learn, and to share this peaceful story with all of you today. You can do it too. You can choose your 30 minutes. You can choose to learn, to grow, and to find your own internal peace every day. Whether you are learning English or building a business, the rule is the same. Start small. Start early. Start with a quiet and focused mind. I am grateful for these moments of peace. They are the foundation of my success and my happiness. They can be yours as well, my friend. Thank you for listening to this peaceful story. I hope it inspires you to find your own 30 minutes tomorrow morning when the sun starts rising. Remember Thomas and his clocks. Remember that you are the watchmaker of your own life. You have the tools to fix anything with enough time. Start your 30 minutes tomorrow. Don't wait for the perfect time. The perfect time is the moment you decide to take control of your life. Peace be with you. May your mornings be quiet, your tea be warm, and your heart be full of the joy of a purposeful life. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Good night to those who sleep, and good morning to those who are ready to start. Goodbye for now.